All right, today we are making for this week's cocktail something that I have dubbed Hummingbird Nectar, which is really just a fancy red wine sangria that we will be making with some wonderful hummingbird plants. So this will be made with Scarlet Bee Balm, which you can see here, some blood oranges, and red wine. So let's figure out how to identify the Scarlet Bee Balm flower, and then we'll get to talking about the cocktail. These are easily identifiable by their bracts, their colored leaves right below this poofy flower up here at the top. And on some they can be a reddish color or this dark green. These are also in the mint family, so their stems are square, so you can tell that they have these edges down them. And their leaves are opposite. And just like any mint, like a peppermint or a spearmint, we have one set of opposite leaves attached to the stem horizontally, and then it goes to the other side and attaches oppositely, perpendicular to one another, and continues down the stem. The leaves are very smooth, nice bright green. However, they do have tiny serrated edges. The veins are very pronounced on the top, and on the bottom they are actually raised. So if you flip it over, you can feel the veins. Many pollinators do enjoy bee balm. So as we harvest this plant, keep in mind that this is a wonderful native plant that is home to many pollinators here. And we want to be conscientious of that. So as we harvest, remember, in an area that maybe has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I never want to harvest more than 1/3. I want to leave some to become future seeds and some to stay nice and wonderful for other pollinators such as the hummingbirds, bees, and butterflies that will visit. Now, the primary reason that I'm calling this cocktail Hummingbird Nectar is because these are amazing hummingbird plants. So a hummingbird is gonna fly in and they're gonna stick their tube-shaped beaks down these long tube flowers. And hummingbirds also really love the color red. So fun fact for a hummingbird plant. When harvesting the flowers or the leaves for this cordial that we are going to make, all you have to do is find the flower itself, the base of the flower. Here I've got it. We can utilize the leaves as well. So pinch that right off. And now we can put this whole entire thing, both the leaves being in the mint family and the flowers and the stems, everything is edible. This one I can let stay a little bit longer to grow up nice and big and support pollinator populations. We'll want enough to fill about half of our jar when we make our cordial. To make a cordial, this is very simple. We have our plant matter, we have the jar that I want to infuse this all in. So we make sure it's nice and clean. I am going to pop these flowers and the leaves into the jar. As we damage and break open the cell walls of leaves and flowers, we are allowing our liquid, in this case the alcohol, to really bring out all of the oils and the beneficial secondary metabolites, or the chemicals that help to protect and enhance this plant, pulling all of that out. So don't feel bad about ripping it up. Do make sure you inspect and get rid of any caterpillars. You don't like to kill the caterpillars. Next comes the blood oranges. This is going to help add some of that nice dark red color. In our cocktail though, in our cordial, I'm going to keep some of the blood oranges to slice up and actually put in the finished cocktail pitcher. So set aside some blood oranges for that, however many you want. And these are kind of sadder looking blood oranges. So these I'm going to juice and slice up for my cordial infusion. Now for the infusion part. This is gin that I'm using. However, you can also substitute it with vodka or rum or tequila, any sort of clear, transparent alcohol. I just like gin. Vodka also would be really good for a sangria. We top that off, close it. Now I'm just gonna shake a little bit. There we have it. Once we make that cordial, we will be ready to create the whole entire cocktail. And here we have our Bee Balm blood orange cordial, our Hummingbird Nectar, so called. So now we need to make our sangria. What we're going to need is your red wine. So choose whatever red wine you like. I'm using a Merlot here. So you will need 2 cups of red wine. Now you need a half cup of your cordial. A half cup of brandy. You can use whatever sort of brandy you like. I am using an infused blackberry brandy. Now we're going to add our fruit. I have an apple and my remaining blood oranges that I am going to use for this specific sangria. Now we have our sangria base. Stir it up just a little. The amount of fruit that you add is completely up to you, what you think looks good. And I don't want my sangria to be a chunky mess, but I also want it to look really pretty. I'm going to be chilling this for about an hour to 3 hours, minimum of an hour before serving. All right, so we've let our sangria steep. So we've got all of the good stuff in there. You can see through the condensation. We've got our fruit that's been steeping. We've got that awesome Bee Balm cordial in there. Let's try it. Gotta get some fruit in there, right? All right, so cheers. And this, again, great before dinner sort of food drink, I guess, because we've got that Bee Balm and the orange, which is really great for our digestive system, and summer fun. So let's try. Okay, so Bee Balm is a savory mint. Okay, so we've got that. It's not a sweet mint or a minty mint like a spearmint. So this, I do have to say, is a bitters. Like, you can taste the bitterness of it. However, using the sweet red wine, that Merlot that I had was a sweeter wine, lends itself really, really well. So just a little suggestion there is use the sweet wine because you can really taste that Bee Balm. But that's also the point. So, yay! Did you enjoy this week's Hummingbird Nectar Sangria? Because dang, I did. That was really good. That might be my favorite so far. Maybe. We'll see what the future weeks have in store for us. But this has been really great. If you're looking for more
super fun foraging cocktails, you can subscribe here and always stay tuned for upcoming videos, events, and programs.